Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with Batman number 91. And I've been loving this story. I'm really so thankful that Tinian took over the Batman run because now it kind of feels like we're back to form. And everything that's been written so far, yeah, maybe there's some, what do you call it, stumbles here or there, but overall this has been a great tell with the designer. And what's interesting is I'm not going to get into all this because, yes, this feels like a lot of reading, but it actually builds up. This is the Joker kind of getting meta, talking to the audience, you think, the way he's looking at you. And he's giving you an overview of what happened in Batman 90, of how when Catwoman, him, and the Penguin went to TARDIS house and told the designer what each of them wanted. Well, here he's drawing the stories. Drawing the pictures of like the designer, the Penguin, the Riddler, Catwoman, and he actually knows what each of them wanted. And then what I like is, it kind of feels like sort of whimsical in a sense, but then we start getting to the Joker and what he wanted, and everything kind of feels like it devolves quickly, and you start to see the shadows and the darkness on his face. And then we get a couple more panels with the Joker, and that's it. And we kind of start to see things kind of build up with him, which I think is going to explode in issue 92. Because what happens next, we finally go back to Deathstroke, and he's just, batting these drones away like nothing. And he's like, you've got it. This has got to be getting expensive for you, Batman, because he knows who Batman is. And Lucius, who is now kind of like Alfred, since Alfred was useless, or not useless, but pointlessly killed off. And Batman says, call back the drones. And Slade says, you're here, aren't you? Yes, Slade. This is my city. I'm always here. And I love this. The way that the Batcraft here is drawn, with the artwork, the way the lens flares go off, and then just how everything else just seems kind of simplistic in a sense. Now he's just standing on top of this truck like nothing. But great artwork here. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about their Dark Designs Part 6. This is James Tynion, the fourth writer, Rafael Albuquerque, Jorge Jimenez, and Carlos Peguelin, and Danny Miki artists. Tumu Moray doing the colors, Clayton Cowles lettering. Here's everyone else associated with the book, and of course Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob Kane. And so when it comes to Deathstroke and Batman, it's just a slugfest in this book. But what I like is how we get all this action. Batman's talking about how, he's kind of fallen into habits of what he does, and how the designer knows that, and he's trying to trying to move things in that sense. So Batman's saying that he needs to change his habits. He needs discord. He needs dissonance. And he's using these words because he says, what I do is kind of like a musical act. And it just kind of goes into this really great symbolism. And as that cut away, we cut back to Harley and Catwoman, who are ready to go after the designer. And they find that the villains that they'd captured a couple issues ago, like Cheshire and Merlin, they're gone. And they are forced to fight these designer minions. The designer's minions. Let's say designer minions, what is that? But I like how they just have that zombie effect, and this very much reminds me of like Night of the Living Dead in the mall. Just great work. And then what I like is Catwoman says, he, meaning Batman, knows my part in all of this. He knows what you're going to try to take from him. Yes, my dear kitty cat, you played your part perfectly. Now he's ripping his mind apart, trying to outthink me. And now what I like is Bruce says, hold on. He like tries to parlay for a moment. And he's like, look at the city. The people of Gotham are scared like they've never been before, and all I'm trying to do is give them some kind of peace. And Slade's like, do you think I care? Yes, you do. Why do you think they're afraid? Whose fault is that? It's mine. You think I don't know it's mine? Of course I know. I've spent my career using my wealth and power to fight costume madmen, and they keep coming back over and over. I keep needing to make bigger and more frightening weapons just to keep you people down. And I just love that. Just kind of, whew. And so, Batman says, I'm trying to make things better. But you people just need to stop and let me save them. And then because Deathstroke's himself, no. And that just sets Bruce off. And they go at it. And I like how they cut away, and we just get to see Harley and Catwoman just ripping into these cops, and how Selina's actually able to think like the Riddler, because this was originally the Riddler's hideout, and she's able to kind of outthink the designer to a degree. And the designer says, well played. There may be hope for you yet. And now one thing that kind of tripped me out that was kind of funny, and I don't want to go back to the page, but Harley's like, you know who Batman is under the masks? Because I thought this thing with you two were kind of kinky, like, mask star-crossed lovers. She's like, you'd find out that Batman eats tacos and that Catwoman was like a boring librarian. And she's like, librarian? She goes, whips say librarian to me. So it's just kind of, a WTF moment, but still funny nonetheless. And that's what I like, is like Tinian kind of has Harley make these jokes, but they're not the holy kabloy, the whammamanoli in her book, which we're not going to get into. That just really chaps my butt. But what's funny here is they jump out of the exploding building, and Harley's like, I think I herniated a few things. My chiropractor's going to be pissed. You're alive, Harley. He's going to be pissed if I'm alive anyways. He's going to be pissed about that too. So that's great stuff. Now, you think Batman is trying to change his tactics, as he talked about. And, he's trying to make a more peaceful way for Gotham to live. But as he keeps saying, like, things escalate. Kind of like, calls back to the last issue where Selina said when he first put on a costume, it's innocent. But as things escalated, things got more serious. And as we can see here, that's kind of what we get with Batman, Deathstroke, going up against the Riddler, which I hate to say it, but that face, that's a really bad face. I don't mean to be mean, because my drawing skills aren't as sharp as they used to be, but compared to these two, that's just a very much a face. But anyway, this was a great read overall, and I like how things are starting to escalate with the Dark Knight. So with that said, I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading. If you guys have enjoyed this comic book, please make sure to support your local comic shop. And if you've enjoyed this review, please make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little bat bell next to subscribe, we'd definitely appreciate it. So again, I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.